Death for some creatures is not the final chapter, as they possess a fascinating secret: the ability to defy death. Forget the conventional laws of nature. These creatures, each with unique traits, showcase an intriguing ability to persist and even thrive beyond the confines of death. Today, we're exploring 20 remarkable creatures that always have a backup plan for life in the unlikely case they die. From wiggly reptiles to peculiar marine beings, these creatures showcase nature's astonishing capacity for resilience and adaptation. Number 20. Flatworms. The process of decapitation is typically deemed irreversible in human terms, where once a person's head is severed, recovery is impossible. However, it's a different story for certain worm species. In their world, losing a head is just a minor inconvenience as they generate new heads instead of the lost ones. This incredible ability is not some ancient relic, but a relatively recent development. Meanwhile, in a fascinating turn of events, some close relatives of ribbon worms, known as flatworms, took a trip to the International Space Station. After removing a portion of its body, one of these space worms grew a new head. The result? A two-headed worm, one on each side, showcasing an incredibly uncommon type of regeneration previously documented by scientists. This is an exceptional case when a worm laughs at the one who wants to kill him. It's impossible. While the exact cause of this phenomenon remains unknown, various theories have been proposed. Some suggest it could be linked to fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field, changes in gravity, or the stress the worm experienced during takeoff and landing on the International Space Station. Essentially, factors associated with spaceflight. Interestingly, when these space worms returned to Earth, they differed from their Earthworm counterparts, unexpectedly releasing them to death. This notion is often metaphorically employed to convey the collapse of evil organizations or groups, suggesting that without a leader, the members will scatter like rats. However, the reality is quite different from this common perception. Snakes, renowned for their lethal nature, pose a unique challenge when it comes to fatal injuries, such as beheading. Numerous online videos depict snakes with severed heads, their bodies exhibiting vigorous movements before gradually succumbing. Sometimes, even after being detached, the snake's head bites the person responsible for the beheading and exhibits unusual reactions. But how does this happen? The composition of a snake differs significantly from that of other animals, especially those with warm blood. Due to their lower oxygen requirements for survival, the cells in a snake's skull do not immediately perish. Instead, they retain a significant amount of life. In simpler terms, a snake with its head removed remains alive and only meet its demise through physical destruction, such as becoming a predator's meal, progressing to a point where regeneration is impossible. However, if not entirely obliterated, the jellyfish demonstrates an astonishing resilience. It springs into action when wounded to a certain extent, or when it senses the looming threat of death, perhaps from factors like famine. What sets this jellyfish apart is its unique mechanism for survival, a process akin to turning back the hands of time to an infantile state. In a fascinating display, it retreats to a previous stage of existence, reliving its life cycle. Imagine the surreal scenario of reverting to your adolescent self just before the end of your days, retaining all your knowledge yet inhabiting a rejuvenated body. Throughout its existence, this enigmatic jellyfish cyclically undergoes this extraordinary rejuvenation. The mystery deepens as scientists grapple with due to their uncanny ability to survive various attempts at extermination. Unlike common pests such as ants, spiders, or rodents, cockroaches seem impervious to being stepped on, swatted with a newspaper, or even drowned. Cockroaches also appear to possess a unique ability to endure, withstanding forces as extreme as the impact of a nuclear bomb. The question arises, why are these creatures so notoriously difficult to eliminate? The answer lies, ironically, in their biology. Cockroaches boast incredibly robust and flexible exoskeletons, rendering them nearly invulnerable to squashing. Their adaptability to contort their bodies into small spaces further contributes to their survival. From a fascinating perspective, cockroaches can endure forces up to 900 times greater than their body weight. But what about removing their heads? Surprisingly, even decapitation doesn't deter these resilient pests higher than what would be fatal to a human. Number 16. Octopus. Let's dive into the intriguing world of octopuses and their remarkable tentacles. While it might seem like an octopus plays dead occasionally, rest assured, it's unequivocally deceased when it ends. However, there's a fascinating twist when it comes to its tentacles. Should an octopus lose one, it has the astonishing ability to regenerate it. What's even more surprising is that the detached tentacle continues to exhibit movement, thanks to the intricate nervous system embedded within it. These tentacles can respond to stimuli even when disconnected from the main brain, persisting in their movements even after the octopus has passed away. This phenomenon sheds light on the persistence of movement in cooked octopus dishes, where the arms can still display a semblance of life. Consuming them requires caution, especially when dealing with live octopuses, as they're first discovered in 1773. This 8-legged, segmented microanimal has proven to be an extraordinary survivor, existing in various environments across the Earth's biosphere, from the Antarctic and tropical rainforests to the deep sea and mountain summits. These minuscule critters from the ocean's depths exhibit unparalleled resilience, with the ability to withstand temperatures ranging from a scorching 150 degrees Celsius to a freezing -20 degrees for decades. But their survival skills don't stop there. Tardigrades can endure radiation from space and thermal burns from volcanic eruptions at the ocean's bottom. Studies have consistently showcased their status as among the most robust creatures on the planet, capable of thriving in harsh conditions that would spell doom for most other animals. The tardigrade's extraordinary endurance extends to potential threats, including high pressure, extreme temperatures. Salamanders may not possess the power of resurrection. Their extraordinary ability to regenerate lost limbs has become a captivating subject of interest. Much like the octopus discussed earlier, salamanders boast an impressive regenerative capacity that has intrigued scientists for nearly a century. The mechanism involves using a unique skin type to seal wounds, followed by tissue regeneration to grow a new body part. This remarkable trait, developed over millions of years of evolution, is particularly fascinating because the newly grown limb is just as functional as the one lost. Certain species, such as the axolotl, take regeneration to the next level by initiating the process almost immediately. In just a few hours, the lost limb begins to grow back, and although not at a fast speed, the pace is still commendable. This prompts the intriguing question: can humans achieve such regeneration? Many researchers are exploring limb regeneration for its potential application. Such conditions are immense. This is why scientists diligently study organisms like salamanders, hoping to unlock the secrets of limb regeneration and apply this knowledge to improve human lives. Number 13. Fruit flies. Flies are ever-present nuisances in our attempts to savor life's moments. Picture this: you're engrossed in a captivating book, and these relentless kamikaze flies seem determined to disrupt your peace. An unfortunate truth, however, is that fruit flies, those tiny airborne acrobats, seem to live almost indefinitely. They have an uncanny ability to detect your approach, making swatting them arduous. Hovering in the air, they effortlessly maneuver, evading capture with a skillful spin. Remarkably resilient, they endure freezing temperatures and even the intense heat of a microwave, much like their fellow airborne counterparts. Now let's zoom in on a specific scenario, focusing on the intriguing case. It wasn't the typical twitching associated with imminent demise. It involved routine activities like running and kicking. Lloyd, quick on his feet, decided to house the remarkable bird in an old apple box on the farm's screened-in porch for the night. When he checked on it the next morning, to his astonishment, the chicken survived and thrived. Even his great-grandson attested to the uniqueness of this chicken's background and family lore. The mystery of how the chicken managed to defy its inevitable demise remains unsolved. Over the next 18 months, Lloyd and his extraordinary companion traversed the entire coast, accumulating a substantial fortune. This unexpected windfall allowed him to upgrade the family farm and explore regions otherwise beyond reach. Number 10. Turtles. Turtles, known as some of the world's most resilient creatures, possess fascinating characteristics. Distinctive anatomy, a blend of factors like a high ion concentration, a slow metabolic rate, and an ever-persistent heartbeat without brain inputs. It's an odd yet fascinating phenomenon, reminiscent of a turtle persisting in existence beyond necessity. While turtles are renowned for leading sedentary lives that may span centuries, the wild population faces challenges due to deforestation and the encroachment of concrete jungles. Ensuring a turtle is truly deceased becomes crucial, given their unique behavior known as brumation, where they appear lifeless but are in fact very much alive. Methods like gently poking or pinching, observing reactions or lack thereof, or waiting for breakdowns can help confirm their status. Additionally, conditions met for hibernation or brumation can lead to their awakening. Number 9. Lungfish. One common misconception is that intriguingly, studies indicate that certain lungfish species gradually lose their reliance on gills as they approach adulthood, adapting to breathing air. After all, who needs gills when you can simply inhale that slightly contaminated but oh so delicious air? Well, maybe not the contaminated part. The paradox lies in the fact that despite being fish, these creatures cannot live their entire lives submerged underwater. Surprisingly, they would drown if they didn't regularly surface to breathe. So, while these fish cannot survive solely in water, they are equally incapable of surviving without it. Now, that's irony for you. Number 8. Wolf eel. Like its animal kingdom counterparts, the wolf eel faces decapitation as a rather inconvenient event. However, it refuses to let the absence of a head hinder its abilities. In fact, without a head, it remains just as deadly. Despite its misleading name, the wolf eel is not an eel but a wolfish, although triggering an automatic closure of its jaws through a central pattern generator. The survival of the wolf eel, amidst ongoing threats from humans and predators seeking to reduce their population, raises a compelling question. Why aren't they extinct by now? The answer is partly in conservation efforts that have been crucial in preserving their numbers. Additionally, their prolific reproductive capabilities contribute to their resilience. A lone female wolf eel can lay 10,000 eggs during mating season. While many fall prey to predators, the survival of even a few individuals can sustain entire communities. As we witness the current stability of the wolf eel population, we hope these conservation efforts will continue to safeguard their future. Number 7. Bark scorpion. Great news for those residing in freezing or scorching locales. Encountering a bark scorpion is highly unlikely. While wearing shoes is generally advisable, unfortunately, it's a fascinating question, and some individuals have discovered the answer the hard way. When a black scorpion meets its demise, its tail extends straight behind its body. Stepping on it results in an abrupt, sharp shock. The departed scorpion, devoid of remorse, will sting you without a second thought. After all, it's no longer among the living. Who's to say if scorpions ponder their actions in the afterlife? Number 6. Ocean quahog. When exploring the intriguing realm of ocean life, the ocean quahog is an edible clam species native to the northern Atlantic Ocean. This remarkable creature, deemed a delicacy in many regions, boasts an unexpectedly extended lifespan that has astounded scientists. In a groundbreaking study in Iceland, researchers unearthed a specimen that defied expectations by clocking in at a staggering 507 years old. Now it's time for our subscribers' pick of the day. Hey, thrill seekers, take a look at the creepy creature in this image. Say hello to the Sicilian, making snakes look like soft toys. With no arms or legs, it's a head scratcher, literally. Which end is up? And eyes? Who needs them? The Sicilians have these tiny eyes that only know light from dark. It's the James Bond of the animal kingdom, incognito in plain sight. But hold on, it's got more tricks. It has 2 tiny tentacles on its face, making it the ultimate food detector and navigation guru. No limbs, no problem. This digging maestro boasts a skull and muscles that rival a car engine's piston. It's the amphibian bulldozer, minus the noise. But here's the kicker. It's not out to get us. Those needle-like teeth are just for munching on earthworms and insects. It's a walking feast for the eyes. So, viewers, what's your take on this limbless wonder? Drop your comments below. Required to nurture fertilized eggs. However, sometimes The female's hunger drives her to consume the male's skull halfway through the process. Astonishingly, the male is unfazed by this unexpected turn of events. Amidst the oddity, one can't help but ponder the priorities during one's last moments on Earth. In the grand scheme of things, perhaps there are worse ways to spend those moments. This peculiar behavior is a quintessential example of the unexpected twists in the natural world. While we may find it strange, if praying mantises could voice their thoughts, they might be more bewildered by our lack of mid-mating lethality. Number 1. Lobsters. Lobsters are a fascinating marine species. While common knowledge encompasses aspects of their social habits, like their one-partner mating policy and entrepreneurial endeavors that led to the establishment of the iconic Red Lobster restaurant, there's an aspect of lobsters that remains less them apart from most other species, which cannot continuously replicate and split their cells. This enzyme enables lobsters to produce an ever-increasing protective end cap on their chromosomes, preventing cells from replication and the aging process common to most animals. Thanks to this biological phenomenon, lobsters can live remarkably long lives. Nevertheless, there's a caveat to their longevity. Like a bodybuilder outgrowing their clothes due to steroid use, lobsters eventually find themselves too large for their exoskeleton. In response, they must relinquish their current shell and search for a new exoskeleton, as the existing one cannot be altered or enlarged. Interestingly, the primary cause of mortality among lobsters is not age-related, but stems from the exhaustion incurred by their constant quest for fresh exoskeletons. It's a fascinating glimpse into the complexities of marine life.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.